That's typical though, because people pass out on weed.
Hey, that's me.
No, hey, dude, this one time, like, I just got my medical marijuana card, right?
Nice.
And I fucking want to go smoke out with all these Mexicans and Nicaraguans and Guatemalans and, you know, all these Latinos, you know, reggaeton Latino. Yeah. It's fucking tight. But anyway, no, so we're smoking with these dudes. They just got this fucking weed from the cannabis club. We're all smoking the same weed. Everyone's high as fuck. Like, I rolled like 2 grams in a fucking blunt. It was huge.
They've been smoking that Mexican weed. That's why they
right. So we're all smoking.
They were ready for the Cali weed. Right?
Dude, there was 5 different people plus me, so there's 6 total. There's 5 of us got super fucking high. One guy, his fucking heart was fucking racing and shit. He's like, hey bro, dude, I think that shit was laced. I was like, hey, you see how we're all fucking stoned and smiling and giggly and shit right now? That means you're having an atypical reaction. Don't fucking tell me that my shit's laced, because I just bought it from the cannabis club, all right, bro? Fuck you, dude. Don't fucking come at me with that bullshit, because I don't buy my shit off the streets. I'm a real motherfucker, all right? I just fucking got this shit fucking certified, medicinal, California.
It says right here on the subscription.
Seriously,
medical marijuana.
Dude, get the seriously. But Senate Bill 420.
No, but that's funny. I mean, I always trip out on that. Like, I mean, it's just like it's other drugs too, right? Like,
right.
I remember hanging out on the.
When are they gonna have medicinal cocaine clubs? You know what I'm saying? That's gonna be legit, dude. I swear to God, one time, like,
what did you say? Medicinal what?
Medicinal cocaine.
Medicinal mushrooms are next.
Medicinal mushrooms are already a thing in Oakland.
Really?
Or recreational. But
recreational
yes,
Oakland.
You can only carry
in
so
Colorado,
much,
I think
right?
there might be
or an eighth. I don't know.
Recreational and medicinal, but I think
the whole world needs to do
mushrooms are going to be.
I think that's
legalized.
Right.
Because
they're very healing, but they're a little bit too healing. Like, we shouldn't be in touch this much with our because here's the thing.
How can we be a goddamn capitalist if we're doing mushrooms all the time?
That's the problem with hippies. That's the problem with drugs that make you think
that's
about.
That's the problem with hippies.
No, I mean, that's why the government. That's why the government.
I understood what you said.
Okay, no, I love hippies. No, I want everyone to understand that hippies have the best drugs. But the government didn't want hippies to fucking give everyone drugs and talk about peace and harmony and community, and we could do this without the government. Just us. Because seriously, if you think about it, how was fucking community and civilization fucking created? By working together. Everyone's fucking working together. So we could all do that again. Yeah. We could all fucking work together.
Did you know that the whole revolution that happened in the 60s with it wasn't just psychedelics, it was the fact that people were more educated. Mm-hmm. We were at the height of I mean, we were sending people to the moon during the 60s. No, okay, exactly.
I don't know about that one, bro. I have no idea.
Here's my point. That because once you get intelligent, you want to create a revolution because you realize that everything is bullshit, right? And then you want to start fixing shit.
The government don't want that.
No, so they started to dumb down the American public. That's why there ain't money in schools like there used to be. They don't want smart fucking people in college, going to school, because they realized in the 60s, early 70s that's how you can't run a capitalist government when you're having an intelligent population.
Right.
My bad. Thank you.
Nah, dude. Well.
Same shit, but this is a fact. I'm just saying.
Right. But I mean, like, we are conditioned to, like, feel a certain way when we're, like, presented with certain types of advertisements, with certain type of previews, with certain type of music, with certain type of, like, visuals that you see. So that's why art is important. That's why, like, everything you see, like logos, everything. But it has everything to do with money, though.
Everything is economic.
Right.
But what I'm saying, if you're doing it for the money, making art for the money, you're making it for the wrong reasons.
Right. I agree 100%.
Because those companies that you're talking about, they're paying artists to do that shit. So it's art can go that way, but if you're doing it for the money, you're missing the whole other.
But that's the thing, though. There's a lot of comedians that are trying to do it to be famous and to fucking have the money.
Yeah.
But it's like, you don't have even 3 minutes where you're not talking about, like, the hood.
I think
that
happens to do with hard work.
And, like, I'm talking about Mexicans, blacks, whites, everybody. Like, this is like you got to stand out. You know what I mean? Like it used to be like,
you have to have your own particular perspective.
Right. But also you have to, like, be able to connect with the crowd. You have to be able to read a crowd.
You have to be able to present.
You got to.
That's what, like a writer.
But you got to be in the zone, though, man. Like, Like, you could get detrimental news right before you go on stage, and you still got to hit your notes.
Yeah, you do.
Like, you can't let them know shit's happening.
That. I wanted to ask you about that. For people who maybe are aspiring comedians or listening or people like me who don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, what does that mean to hit your marks? I mean, I think I understand.
Well, okay.
Talk about hitting your marks.
So hitting your marks is like, they hire you. Right, well, I mean, if there were to be a band there, they wouldn't do that unless you are bombing and they're trying to fucking like add laughter.
They're adding the mark.
They're adding right.
They're your mark.
Well, I mean, your marks is just you do what you're expected to do. Like you get hired to be funny. You get hired to do a certain amount of time, and you get hired to not make the audience feel like they hate comedy.
So what are these marks?
So these marks are like starting strong, staying strong, and ending strong. Timing. But they aren't always good. Mm-hmm. But I mean, I always try 100%. So even if I'm dying, I'll acknowledge that I'm dying and be like, hey guys, I am trying my fucking best. And you guys are like,
so what are the marks? Is the mark the joke?
The mark,
the punchline.
The mark is like just doing your fucking job. Is showing up and fucking being able to manipulate the energy in the room so the audience believes in what you're saying and they're like on board to follow you.
But it sounds like a timing thing.
It is a timing thing. But you have to be coordinated enough to like have people
to know when it is. You're setting it up and hitting the mark.
Right.
Do I got that right?
Yes. You're setting it up
and hitting the mark.
But I'm hitting the marks. Like by that I mean it's just like I'm showing up.
Are you okay? So
I'm showing up. I'm doing what the person who hired me is expecting me to do.
So if you're a professor, what would be the marks?
The marks would be
when you're a teacher.
Okay, so it would be that you present information that the students are going to use on the test that is also going to be something that they use for the rest of their life that's meaningful to them, that they'll be able to remember, and also not just remember the things that you teach, they'll remember you personally because they liked you. They liked your personality. They liked the way that you told the stories. They liked the way that you told information. They liked the way you presented.
What does that have to do with punching a kid or not?
Because like me talking about punching a kid can be detrimental to my set. No. Because like for real, dude, like people don't want to hear that shit. Like,
of course.
Like I don't know what happens at home. So it's like, hey, my husband, he fucking hits our kids at home. Hey, you don't know what the fuck's going on. No, and I'm sorry, I just like.
No, you're right.
Can I tell a story really quick?
Please,
dude. Okay, and this is like you're talking about aspiring comedians, and like if you're an aspiring comedian, listen to this, just listen, and not just to me. I mean, when you're at a comedy show, listen. No, because listen, I learned something like 4 years ago. Yeah, go ahead. Always.
No. Look, I say that all the goddamn time when I'm working with people. They don't fucking listen. My artists, my assistants, if they fucking listen, why aren't they fucking? That's my number one. Like the people who I'm paying or training or they don't. And one of the things that made me a good artist, or what you see here today, is I fucking just shut the fuck up and listen. Even if I knew they were wrong, I didn't even argue with them. I would just fucking he's wrong, but I'm going to listen to this motherfucker anyways because he's got something to teach me. Anyways, go ahead, back to you, sir. I was trying to tie this back to art in general, and I think it all connects with your art and everything.
Well, I mean, just like learning about perspective. Like earlier you asked me.
What you know about, he is a teacher,
Well, I mean, I'm also a comic, though, man. I mean, like, you got to learn about perspective in order. Because here's the thing. I learned something, man. So sometimes, like, I describe, these shows are not glamorous. And I'm going to describe the story as best as I can because I think it's a great one for people to learn in general. Please. Because, like, you asked me earlier, what am I doing? I want people to forget about their bullshit. So pretty much, this is a story that this really happened. I'm at a show. I'm going second to last. And then there's a last comic. It's a tip bucket show, which means we don't get paid unless people throw money into the tip bucket.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So because people are so desperate to get on stage that they don't give a fuck if they make money.
Good training.
And then there's also open mics in like LA where you pay money to get on stage. And I would be God fucking damn. Yeah. You could shoot me right in the fucking mouth. Like
before you pay somebody?
Before I pay somebody to go on stage. Like you're paying me or I'm doing it for free.
That's like when people...
But I'm not paying you to go on stage.
People have asked me, hey, I'll buy a bunch of spray paint for you if you paint my garage.
What?
It's the same shit.
So you're like, okay, buy me $2,000 worth of fucking spray. Then.
Hey, this is
and art supply.
This is what I tell people who tell me the same thing. I'll paint for 4 hours if you sweep my studio floors for 4 hours. Oh no, that's then fuck you.
Hey, they want me studio floors. Hey, does that offer go to me? Because, bro, I will fucking help you.
4 hours. I'll let you tell come here for 4 hours if you sweep my floor for 4 hours.
No, fuck that. No, fuck no, dude. Fuck no. I meant no. I just meant like I'll fucking be your little fucking gopher and shit. Fucking
I already got one.
Shit. Man, fuck that gopher.
Fuck Marco.
Yeah, I don't know
that's a black Peruvian.
My bad.
Hey, shout out to little Marco.
I'm a real Mexican. I'm a real Mexican. I'm trying to take work from.
He's half Peruvian.
No, but half Peruvian.
So you were saying about that you need comedians.
Oh yeah, no. I want to know about like comedians. Like you need to listen and you need to fucking be aware of what's going on, because fucking there's what's it called people out there that have no idea what's going on. Like, I was doing the show out in Livermore, of all places, and like,
Wasn't Tommy T's.
it was not Tommy T's. That's Pleasanton. But I was in Livermore at a bar show or bistro or lounge or whatever. Like, in the back part, there's a restaurant in the front, and then there's like a lounge in the back, right? And fucking, it's fucking sweet. But there was only 3 fucking people there that were not comedians. There was only 3 people.
Wow.
And so
You were in a room full of comedians.
I was in a room full of
What does
comedians.
that mean? What does that mean to you?
Okay, so that means like, okay, there's like 6 comics. There's a room that we're all in. There's 6 comics. There's 1 host and there's 5 comics.
Wow.
So there's a total of 6 comics plus 3 people that are not comedians that are there to watch the show. So there's only 3 people in that room.
Holy shit.
But I just mentioned all those comics, right?
Right.
No, they're not people.
They don't count.
They don't count. There's 3 people in that fucking crowd.
Right.
So I just want you to understand that.
Okay.
Like, this is the definition. There's 3 people in that crowd.
Got it. Sure.
But there's 9 bodies in the room if you want to be a dick about it, okay? So anyway,
Biology,
there's
physics.
But there's 3 people in the room. There's a fat Asian guy in like the second row, and then in the first row, it's just like 45 or 49-year-old white guy with a white woman about the same age, and they're in the front row. And I'm just fucking flirting with a couple up front, telling him he looks like Patrick Duffy by Step by Step. Like, I'm saying like all these things where I'm like, dude, you probably a fucking lumberjack with that big old dick. And like, you know, just like making him feel good and like just riffing and talking about him and like,
Right.
you know, like, how come you guys aren't talking to each other? Like, you know, making it in the moment, having a good time. And like, I had a really great set. It was like really great. And there's 3 people in the crowd. Like,
Right.
there's people that would have given up, and I'm
How
like,
many
no.
bodies were laughing?
3. Well, 3.5 because that guy, Chinese guy was fat as fuck. So like, no, just kidding. No, but like, you know, and the comics were laughing too. It was a good time. So then the comic that went up after me said their opening joke was pretty much the basic like, this is the punchline. So what I'm trying to say is that if your kid has cancer and you're praying to God that your kid gets better, you're a fucking idiot and your kid's gonna die. And then the guy in the front row, the guy who I said had a big lumberjack dick, he was all like, not funny, move on. And I am fucking like, I just went up, dude. I had a good fucking set. Like, this is great. I'm watching this shit. And then there's 2 comics right here talking. I'm like, guys, shut the fuck up. There's a fucking train wreck happening right now. And you guys need to watch this shit and learn. And if you guys don't want to, stand the fuck up and get the fuck out. Like, dude. Dude, no, but anyway, this is what happened.
That's beautiful,
no,
brother.
Oh, no, it was fucking great. And so, no, it was fucking great. No, because this fucking person who went up after me was like, hey, comedy's subjective. So if you don't like what you're hearing, you could stand up and get the fuck out right now. And there was 3 people in there. And we didn't even solicit for tips yet. And this last comic is telling them to leave. He's telling like so.
And this guy's a quote unquote pro
Headliner, yeah.
Headliner, okay, got it.
Yeah. And so they were explaining for the next 3 minutes about how comedy's subjective and like you didn't find it funny. Maybe you're just a fucking asshole or you don't read or you're not intellectual. Like, she's trying to shame them. And I'm like, she had a terrible set.
She.
Yeah.
And you just sat and just,
Yeah.
you guys all sat and learned.
No. Well, no, these guys were trying to talk, and I was like, you guys need to shut the fuck up.
Okay.
So I'm watching this. No, that wasn't even the learning moment. The learning moment happened. I was like, all 3 of those audience stayed, and they tipped money. So I got like $3.
Nice.
But I stayed because like I had a good set, and I wanted to talk to those people and just pretty much just, okay.
Pick their brain
Just
and shit.
talk to them. And then, so it turns out, I don't know about that Chinese guy. I didn't give a fuck. But like that couple in the front, they're not going out. They're not going out at all. They're not dating. They're not brother and sister. What was going on was they're friends. They're from high school. They've known each other for over 20 years. And so like her 4-year-old son has brain cancer. And so she's been living at Oakland Children's Hospital for the last 6 months. Every day, day in and day out. She's lost her job. She's like on full, like she's like pretty much
Can I say
homeless.
something real quick?
Yeah.
You know what I like about you? Is that you talk about some superficial shit, and then you get into some real deep shit, man.
Yeah, man. And so, yeah, I know. Well, thank you. Like that, you couldn't wait fucking 20 seconds, you know? Just like,
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead,
holy
bro.
shit, man. Are you on coke? No. Like, you're like, hey, bro. And then you got the fucking,
Not today.
no, anyway, no. So anyway, so this little kid, right? He's got fucking brain cancer. And so she's
It's
like,
those little fuckers got
this little motherfucker,
That's
right?
exactly
So
what
I
I'm
find
talking
out.
about.
So I find out that this fucking. So he's all like, yeah. So we're just trying to come out and have a good out of comedy.
Yeah.
And then that last comedian wasn't too funny. And really, honestly, she's a stupid fucking bitch that doesn't know what the fuck life's about. And I was like, listen, I got to tell you something, sir. Like, listen.
Hey, when a teacher tells you that,
that wasn't a teacher.
Oh, but listen.
That was, I don't know who the fuck that guy was.
Oh, someone's just broke out.
The audience member said
You
she's a
didn't say
stupid,
that.
dumb bitch. I didn't say that.
No,
So no, but what I said was just like, listen, you can't, like, listen, I know how you feel and you have the right to feel that way, but I'm going to tell you something right now. I've been doing comedy for, at the time, like 5 years, and a lot of comedians like really don't have any social graces. They don't know how to communicate with people. Their communication skills are really bad.
Yeah.
And so like right now, that's her life. That's all she knows. She's sheltered. She's never had experience loss because she doesn't have any loved ones because she's unlovable. So she's never lost because nobody loves her. And that's it. Like, fuck her.
Holy
that's why she's a
shit.
loveless little bitch. So like, don't fucking like put too many eggs in that basket type of thing. And I was trying to console them. I don't really feel that. I think that comic's actually, I've seen that comic do that joke like fucking 50 times and only one time it worked. But it was at the one place where it mattered. It was at the punchline.
Yeah.
And that matters at the punchline. It doesn't matter.